Hello Doraemons, welcome back to my channel. So in my last video I mentioned like I have a surprise for you guys. Like this video is going to be very useful for people who get like a very tough question in their third attempt of an IRA. So this is to give you a little idea about how you can at least try to get or crack an IRA, like try to get incentives from it. So I'm going to share totally this idea just to give you knowledge about how you can get only when you are not able to solve it. If you put in your effort and nothing goes right, and then you can just use this, and you're using it on your own risk because this is not a right way to do anything. So I totally recommend you to learn things. There are videos in my channel about Unix, Python, and also the MCQs which I recently posted, and I have a reason for MCQs getting posted in my YouTube channel. So I wanted to give you an idea about it. Okay, so all people who are just got into the TCS company, you will be having an initial readiness assessment which is called as IRA, and it has an intensive based exam. You'll be getting like 40,000 for people who are scoring like about 80, and the people who are getting in between the range of 55 to 80 will be getting an incentive of 20,000. So many people have this idea of getting the incentive by passing the exams, but it only comes to people who put in a lot of effort. I hope you are also one of those persons. That's why you got to find my channel. So only people who really put effort will be able to find my channel, because I'll be posting only on this stuff. So let's get started. And if you are trying for a longer time and somehow like time didn't go well and you got a very tough question in an IRA and you couldn't solve it, at that time you can use this method, and I would not recommend to use this in any other circumstances, and you are using it on your own risk. So don't blame me for this. Okay, so I'm going to just give you an idea of how you can get at least 55 marks to crack the IRA, and you can get at least an incentive. So 55 and above means you have cracked the IRA exam and you have got an incentive of 20,000. So this you might be aware of. So the plan is to get 55 marks in the IRA. So I would highly recommend you to do it only in the third attempt, only if you get a tougher question in Python or Java. So our first part is to get stronger in the MCQ part. So if you want to get 80 marks in your IRA, so what you should do is you should score like to get 80 marks you have to get like 40 to 45 MCQs, 40 to 45 MCQs, right? And also you should solve the Python or Java like question which will hold 40 marks again, and also you should solve the 10 marks of Unix. So this is how you will be able to solve, like score or get 80 marks in the IRA question. So what we are going to do in this part is we are going to just concentrate completely on the MCQ part, because by using that alone you can get 40 marks. So for that, if you just go through the videos which I have given in the videos, you can get at least 40 marks. So we are going to aim like 40 to 45 marks in this portion, and you have to majorly focus on this part. And after this, for the Python or Java part, what we are going to do is I'll explain you in this coding question. So here what we are going to do is, here I'm going to show you like a question. Here I have one of the questions which is asked on the previous IRAs, and here what we are going to do is we'll be getting two sample input and output, like maybe one in some cases when the question is really easy, and two in some cases you may get it depends on the day. Usually if you get two and you couldn't solve any of these things, what you can do is to try to print this entire output in your output screen, but don't make it too obvious. So it will have 4 test cases. Each Python or Java question will have 4 test cases: test 1 and test 2 and test 3 and test 4. So these are the 4 test cases which we'll be usually having, and each test case holds like 10 marks. So this each test case, if you pass one of these test cases, you will get 10 marks, and for any of, like if you pass 20, like 2 cases, you will get 20 marks. So what we are going to aim is to get at least one test case passed by getting this output in the output part in the HackerRank after the compiler. So the main part, you have to get the input properly. I have already given tips on these things. If you have not watched that video, please go check out. I'll be giving the link in the cards. And like you can go through this custom input part to understand the input and get the inputs properly. Don't make it too obvious, because when you get a score higher than 55 or 80, your code will be reviewed. Only after reviewing your code and checking your code whether it is working fine without any malpractices, and then only it will get verified. So this has been followed very strictly, and don't make it too obvious just using the print statement and printing the entire thing. Just try to do simple calculations so that you end up to this value. So just considering taking an example of this one here, it is just going to print price list after discount, and this you can print in the main section itself, and after that we are going to print like the number and the amount. So somehow you will be getting that amount. It is like a interest kind of sum. You would obviously know how to calculate discount amount and interest amount, and then you're going to just print these values. And please refer to my previous video, because that video is very simple and just basically printing this set of output. So if you refer that video, that will be very useful. Just printing the values, you will get at least one test case passed, which will lead us to this 10 marks which we already have. Like as I already told, here we'll be like aiming with the MCQs, we'll be aiming for 40 to 45 marks. And for the Python or Java, we'll be like trying to expect like 10 to 20 marks. Like if you get 2 test cases and if you are a little brilliant, you can end up getting 20 marks even. And then for the uniques part, we are going to do the same thing. So for the uniques part, if most of you are very new for this uniques, one thing that I can give you guys idea about is the awk command. Just print the awk command and then put this single quotes and then type begin, and then put the fs, which is the field separator, inside this bracket. And here we are going to put the field separator, which is nothing but here it got separated by the colon. So this colon is called as the field separator, and here I'm going to just put colon. And then after this part, if you want to like ignore the first line, like this ID Bryant thing, as you can see in the output, it is not shown. So to avoid it, you can just use nr greater than 1, and here within this you can try to print this output. If it has provided like 1 sample input and output or 2 sample and input output, if you're a little brilliant, you can make it through. And don't make like, if you are only a little like can handle the things, you can just do it. If you're not that much confident about it, please don't do it. Please don't get into any problems. If you don't press IRA, no one is going to take your head or remove your thumb like that. We have PRA, and that will be like thought. So you can go ahead, and here you can just put the same print, and you can like don't print the exact things. Instead, like this first column will be called as $1, and the second column will be called as $2. So if you want to print the $1, just put print $1. And if you want anything to be printed, like here it got printed with this pipe, so if you want that, you can just put it in the double quotes and then do it. And then after that, $2, which is the second row, Activa Scooty Bullet. And if you got to know this value, just print this value over here. Because sometime it happens here, just you can put 4.35 and it will print it. So like that you can try. So this is only like if you like people from different states ask like I'm in a very poor situation and you help and can you help like that they ask, and my little idea is no, because it's your exam and I couldn't do anything. I can only teach you can how you can solve it, and the effort that you put in will really pay you back. So just trust in the process. I wanted to share my experience of how I cracked my IRA, so this could give you guys an idea like how effort works. So for my first attempt of this IRA, I have any idea like what is IRA or what is going to be asked in the question. When I received the mail, I was like, what is this exam? I don't even have any idea about it. And then I got to know about like it got some incentives up to 40,000, and for campus people it is even more higher. And I wanted to just crack it because I love like challenges with like kind of incentives, and I was totally low before my second IRA. And when I was going through some groups to learn about this IRA and how the questions are asked, I really saw a person who like posted I got an incentive of 60,000 and it happened. So I just got an spark like if they can do it, why can't I? So I just tried hard and I figured out how I can do it. So the first thing I realized that for MCQs we have like 50 marks, and for SBQ, which is Python or Unix, for Python you will have 40 marks and for Unix you have 10 marks. So this Unix I completely had no idea, so I have just omitted this Unix part and just focused on only the Python. And this, if I crack like Python, I can just manage with the MCQs. Like it has 10 from the KYT, 10 from UI, 10 from SQL. Like there are different parts and I can like try to manage it. At least I can try to pass. So if I get this 40 mark, it will be way more easier to get 55 marks, because 50 MCQs are there. At least if I write 20 correctly, then I can get 60 marks. And yeah, so I would have cracked the IRA question and even got an incentive. So I tried that Python question, and I was learning like how to do it. I like had a previous things of how to write class, those things and all. So it was a pretty easy. At that time I couldn't find anything to like learn about how the pattern will be, those things and all. I got only 1 or 2 blocks based on those things, and now I am helping you people to get a lot more idea on this thing, because everybody wants that and everybody enjoys getting incentives for exams. So, and this is particularly like subjective up to the person. And after this, in my second attempt, things got very wrong. Even I put in a lot of effort, I was not able to write my IRA question. Like the system got shut down, I couldn't complete the MCQs. I just completed the MCQs, and I got into the SBQ question, it was a very tough question. And for 1 hour it is not going to, like I was in a very initial stage of learning this. In 1 hour I couldn't figure out anything, and in the first 10 minutes itself my system got off, the current got off, the Wi-Fi got off, and everything got off, and the timer was running in my IRA SBQ. So I was totally dumped, and I have no little idea of what to do with it. And like that also exam also got flopped, and only for the third IRA I got like 15 days gap, and I tried, and that time only I also tried to learn Unix. So if this Python doesn't go well, I should at least get 55 and get an incentive of 20,000. So that was my thought. So I was trying to learn Unix. I got really some useful videos from the YouTube, and that's how I learned. I also practiced the previous question. So the best advice I would give you guys is to practice only the previous question. You don't need to learn from any other courses or some other websites. Just practice the previous questions. So that is a lot more enough. You will get a lot of ideas and how to solve it, and you will get used to the usual pattern of how the questions are getting asked in the IRA. So only for my third attempt I was like practicing all the different questions which I gathered from different sources, like from previous 2 IRs which I wrote myself, from some previous IRs before like my exam. When I wrote exam, like there are some groups in which I get the questions previously. Now it is not going live like that. and I was going through all the questions, and you won't believe what happened. Before a day before my IRA exam, like it was like on 5th of some month, and on 3rd or 4th, like that was the last attempt I had. I want to at least get like 55,000, but my ultimate aim was 40,000 to get 80 plus. And this happened. This is why I say effort you put in will really pay off. So I was going through some blocks. The questions which I had to practice was all over. I was searching for some older questions, like something which I've not learned still now, and I came across through a blog where where I got to sort a dictionary. So it was in my previous video. If you have not seen my previous video, I'll link that video in the cards. So that is a sorting algorithm which I've never learned. So like sorting a dictionary, which I didn't learn at all. And like one that question only, I just got to see about that line first time just a day before ARA. And guess what happened is, the question which was asked in the IRA is totally based on the dictionary sorting algorithm. So the question was really easy, which was like the previous one, like which I have posted the video just yesterday, and it was like the same question but a little bit like different. So it had like kind of a little calculation thing, and then just sorting the dictionary and then printing it. I still remember it was like a person or a bookshelf question which I cracked, which question I solved to crack the ARA, and also in the unique sparse I was able to crack it. And I got like out of 4 test cases I got 3 test cases passed, and in the IRA Python I got like 4 test cases passed it. So for the MCQs I was like after completing the Python questions, like the unique question, I jumped onto the MCQs, and I had a little practice over the things, because when I was going through groups I was also getting the MCQ questions. So from that I practiced it, and that's how my story of how I ended up cracking the IRA. So for the first one I never had an idea what is an IRA. For the second one things didn't go well, like the current got shut down, the Wi-Fi was switched off, and only in the last 5 minutes I got access. I don't even have any idea how to solve the question. I didn't even get time to realize or read the question completely. And then in the third IRA I was able to crack the exam. So that's how it works. So put in a lot of effort. It is just a piece of cake if you work for like 15 to 20 days. So before it was like IRA was conducted in a period of like 15 days once, and now it has changed to 7 days once. So this time is also a lot more enough if you put in like a lot of efforts. Try to solve at least one Python question and one Unix question daily, and go through the MCQs. You can definitely make it through. So people from poor background, please study. That's what I can do. I can't help you guys because it's totally illegal and it doesn't show yourself, because you should be yourself, and that what will help you to crack anything. So have this in mind. And like if you are using this technique which I told you, it's totally on your risk, and I'm not responsible for anything. So I'm just giving you an idea. Like if you got stuck like me, like what happened to me in the second IRA, I was totally numb. If that was your last attempt, you are pretty sure you will not get any more attempts, and you are from the poor background, you can try it out, but only try if you can manage, because I'm repeating it again, your codes will be reviewed before giving the incentives. So it should be proper and clear. Make sure your code is clean enough so that they don't find it, and if you practice it, you know how to handle it. So just to give you an idea what are other ways you can try. Don't try it in any other exams, and don't get caught and booked as malpractice. So this is my humble request. This is just to know and give you an idea. That's it. So if you're doing it, it's on your own risk. I'm telling it again and again, so it's like a disclaimer. And I hope you liked this video on hearing like how my experience went through the IRA, and it would have given you a motivation like you can also make it. If I can do it, you can also do it. Like within a period of 15 days I was able to do it. And if you have done, like you may be writing your first attempt, second attempt or third attempt, which you're writing, just try to put the effort for the next one. If you're attempting the last one, make sure if you use it, make sure you're using it clean. I hope you understand. And yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, guys. So this is the reason that I was posting MCQs for the past week. So you can go through that MCQs and you can at least try to get 40 marks and try to learn the Unix from my videos. And at least you can end up getting 47 marks if you learn Unix and MCQs. And if you want like a Python mark, like 10 marks extra, you can go through my other Python videos. Like for Java I was trying to post videos, but sorry guys, I couldn't. You can go through other tutorials which is available online and go for this attempt. I'll be posting, try to post the Java questions for the next upcoming ERAs as soon as possible. I'm working on it. And yeah, like try to get the input properly and try to get at least one test case pass, so that you will get 10 marks and you will get 55 marks, which is a lot more enough to get an incentive and to crack the IRA, and you don't have to write PRA. So yeah, so that's it for this video. I hope you liked it, and as always, like keep learning and keep rocking. Don't worry about anything which goes wrong or which is not on your way. Everything happens for a reason, and take it as it is. Don't crumble on the things. So just bye bye. I'll see you in the next one.